I would like to have our guest talking and using this time to tell us about his work, whatever you prefer, and then if you're happy with that, you will have some questions from us. So Thierry is my friend, so I'm also very happy to have him here. We met through other ways. Maybe Thierry can say about it, but yeah, I'm super happy to have him here. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Federica. I think I will be talking more than you are used to. So yeah, I know Federica from another drawing club. We used to draw every week together with also a group of Italian friends like her. The group is called Mercoledì al Secco, which we always meet on Wednesdays night to draw together. So this is how we met, and it's been almost a year that we've been practicing that. Now, when it comes to the talk, and it's not a talk. I'm not gonna do a sort of speech or anything. On the contrary, it will be an interactive discussion, just to share an experience that we all went through here in Lebanon, and particularly myself when I decided to go and document what was happening before the Beirut blast and after the Beirut blast. So it's a whole journey. It's not only focused on Beirut. What you saw in the USK talk was mainly focused on that particular period of time. But if you would like, we can go a little bit, we can open a sort of bracket and talk a little bit about the before and the after of what happened. So we'll have a more comprehensive story and understand better how things went worse with time.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody will be happy to hear this. So please guide us, tell us about
Perfect. Well, I will tell you first how I started urban sketching and why I like it. It's because obviously it's a passion, it's a hobby. Like drawing is a common passion that we have all of us. But it is mainly because I wanted to show to the world a better image for my country, a better image than the pictures or what we see in the news. Because Lebanon is mainly associated with bad things. When you say war, you think Lebanon. When you hear terrorism, you hear Lebanon. When you hear conflicts, you hear Lebanon. So it's always associated with bad situations that have to do with politics mainly. But if you put politics aside, you will see that it's a beautiful country. It's a place where people live in peace, where people like each others, where nature is beautiful, where you have so many beautiful sceneries, where you have a very rich history and architecture. So this is what people do not know about the country. I'm not a touristic guide, obviously. I'm just a person like you. I like to practice my hobby, but I found that it was an interesting way to share it with the world, especially with people who do not live on the ground and who can potentially see these pictures and see them through art, not through pictures, real pictures, photographs, but through art. So it's from a point of view or from an interpretation of an artist. And this is what motivated me, especially that I got lots of encouragement from friends from abroad, like Federica and like others, who know me, maybe not in person, we never met physically, but we became friends online, and they were interested to know in what kind of environment we were living in. So based on that, I started covering random situations. So it's different types of drawing that have nothing to do with. I will just show you a few examples. For example, this. Voilà. This was done last summer and it was just sunbathing on the roof of the building because of the lockdown. So this is mainly a common thing that we were living all together in the whole world, where we couldn't go out and we had to find a sort of activity to do instead of staying at home. So this was in 2020. I covered different events like these. They are not events; they are random things. This is one time where we could go to the beach and sketch people sitting there. So it's joyful moments. It's things that are full of positivity. Maybe for people who never heard about Lebanon, it was a way to see that, yes, we have a beach because we are on the sea as well, on the Mediterranean. We go out like everyone. We enjoy like everyone. So it's just to break the prototypes and the stereotypes that Lebanon is because it's a Middle Eastern country, so people can imagine that it's a desert and there are camels and people are walking on the street because they don't have cars, etc. So all these types of cliches. So it's breaking these cliches and showing a normal life like you could have it in Europe, in the States, or elsewhere. So
it's beautiful because I can see, that while you are talking, I can already feel, the beauty in the beast, the topic of your challenge. So it's fascinating, and I think it will help us all, to try to see the beauty in the beasts more. So yeah, that's
true.
really
And just to talk about the beauty a little bit, this is before the beast.
yeah.
This is just the view that it was, I think, a challenge that was launched by USK Bergamo, Urban
Okay.
Sketches Bergamo. So it was just to draw from the window. And that was during the first confinement. So it was the first lockdown.
Beautiful. Oh my God, I
Yeah,
love it.
this is the view, actually. This is the view from the balcony. So yes, you have greenery, we have mountains, we have a blue sky, like in other countries. But under the blue sky, things could be grayer.
Yeah.
So so I will show you. Okay, so this is a sketch where things started to become a little bit worse. This is actually it was the bed of my kids when they were babies, and we recycled it to make it like a pantry, because at that time, let me check the date, in July 2020, so not very long time ago,
Yeah.
Things economically and financially started to get bad. So people started buying some groceries and stocking some groceries at home because the prices are going, we're rising very high, rising very high. And so it's not something that is beautiful to cover. It's something that is really, it's almost at the verge of misery. It's
Oh.
it's a scene of war. It's a scene of war. It's not like something usual. It's not something that you would do in normal times, to just stock food and put it at home just in case you will have a shortage. So it's something that we never thought about previously, never crossed our minds at all. It looks like science fiction, but it's happening. So it's just to mark this moment that I sketched that, just to keep it in a sort of photo album. And then this was on August 1st. It was just a very playful moment, going out with kids to the forest, do some bicycle. It was on a sunny day. I think it was a Sunday. It was during the weekend. So
no work and
no work, very carefree moment. So, and actually 3 days after, happened the explosion in Beirut. So this is the turning point. Already we were going down in terms of situation, but on August 4th, things deteriorated drastically because that was the lethal, it was a sort of a knockout for the whole country. So we all know what happened on August 4th. So it was the biggest explosion that mankind provoked that was not nuclear. Luckily enough, we were all, myself and my friends and half of the population, we were not in our offices at that time because
wow.
it happened at 6 o'clock in the evening.
Wow.
And it was in August. So for people, for employees who used to go to work, they finish usually earlier than usual during summer. And plus there was the lockdown, so a lot of people were working from home. And this was my case as well. I was with a colleague talking to him. I had my laptop open, and then when this happened, my laptop started shaking. The screen started moving, and I thought it was an earthquake. And I told him, listen, like the whole balcony is moving, the laptop is moving, I think it's an earthquake. He tells me, I'm feeling the same. And he was living far. He was not living in the same area. So that was the thing that triggered in my mind, actually, that something bad is happening. It's something big. So I didn't know what exactly. And then I heard his mother saying, it's an explosion. I don't know how she knew. We didn't hear the sound yet. It was only the shock wave that we were feeling, but we didn't hear any sound. And then a few seconds later, we hear the giant boom that resonated in the whole neighborhood. And just for your info, I don't live in Beirut city. So the blast happened in Beirut, but I live like 16 kilometers further. So this is where we started panicking. This is where we ran on TV. We opened the TV to see where was that, what was happening. If it's an explosion that happened in Beirut and we are hearing it from our place, it means that's something huge because there's the distance. And we watched the news and we didn't understand. It was very chaotic because no one, even the journalists, knew where this happened. It was total confusion. We had to wait maybe 15 or 20 minutes to know the truth and to know that it actually occurred inside the port of Beirut. Because you have to imagine that half of the city was completely blown up. So whenever the journalists and the TV stations everything got destroyed. So every journalist thought that the explosion happened next to him. No one knew that it was like a massive destruction everywhere. So by the time they announced that it was in the port, it took me a few minutes to process that and try to think, who do I know who's living there? And then I thought of my grandparents, because my grandmother and uncle live just in front of the port. So they were the only people who crossed my mind at this moment of time, because I thought that, oops, they might have been affected. So I called them on their cell phone, no one answered. I called on the landline, no one answered. I sent a WhatsApp, no answer. And then we knew later on that they were injured and they were touched by that. So this is the moment where I said to myself, this is really serious. This is something big. And then the network completely cut, the internet connection, the WhatsApps, the phones, everything stopped because of the jammed lines. So this is where I said I should do something. I cannot call everyone and tell everyone I'm fine, all is going well, or bad, or just to inform people. I thought that the fastest way to communicate that was through a drawing, through a sketch. So since I was not in front of the explosion, I had to sketch something that was based on a photo or a video that I received. And I drew, let me show it to you. This is where I did.
It's a big sketchbook. Okay.
It's not even a sketchbook. It's papers. It's loose papers.
Oh, okay, I see.
But yeah, so this is the explosion itself, and I posted that on Facebook mainly, especially Federica, because our dear friends Italian were super worried.
Yeah.
This day. You guys started sending me so many messages, and since I couldn't reply to everyone because of the reasons I stated, I just posted this sketch that had the desired effect to reassure people. So people got calmer when they saw that I was fine, that we were fine. But then the next day, when I knew that my family was touched by that event, we had to immediately go underground to check on their house. And that was not an easy moment, because you don't know what to expect. When you see catastrophes and tragedies on TV, even if you are moved, it's okay because you're far. You're not really connected. You're not personally affected. But when you have to confront yourself with a bad reality, you start feeling it coming. So when we went into the building, you could visit every apartment because there was no doors anymore. So you can go visit each apartment, enter. Of course, we didn't do that. We went straight to my grandmother's house, and I started sketching what I was seeing. So, like I said in the USK talks, it's first you start thinking of, is it ethical to do that? Is it fine to do that? Because I didn't come to sketch. I came to help. But I asked if I could sketch and if they could give me some time to sketch, because I had to take notes, because this moment will only last for this moment only.
Yeah.
This present time. Afterwards, if we will clean everything, we will be removing all the evidence.
Yeah.
So this is also taken from another angle. That's another room, and with very few notes. So
yeah. But you can. I mean, I think, through your sketches, you can recognize, of course, that this is a door is broken and inside all the things fallen. But with few strokes and few colors, you created this, not only the objects, but also the atmosphere. And I think, it's important now to say for everybody, because some of you maybe saw the episode of Urban Sketchers talks, that Thierry won this, let's say, how can I say? Sorry, no, like people could submit proposals for reportage. Yeah, and actually his work naturally is a reportage, if you see. So it's a reportage of an historical moment, but also a very intimate moment. So yeah.
Yeah, I would like to highlight something. Actually, you reminded me to say it. I did not do all this work to enter any competition or any contest or anything. it happened very naturally. Of course, the end of season 1 in USK Talks happened before the explosion. So I had in mind
Okay, I thought
the,
it was after. Okay.
no, it was before, but I had in mind the encouragements
Mm.
of the urban sketchers community,
Yeah.
because subliminally, subliminally, they were telling us, they were telling everyone in the community, you are allowed to go and cover events that
Yeah.
are worth sharing.
But
It's
indeed, you know, if you think about Rita, you know, Rita Subler, she does a lot of that work, you know, as her routine way of
exactly.
sketching, of reporting, and kind of a journalism, but graphical. And
Mhm.
she also, through her challenge, I remember in the first season, she was saying, oh, you know, the time we are living is very special, and doesn't mean that you have to sketch something beautiful, but you can sketch something that represents the change that you can see with your eyes and you can record in your
True.
sketch. So I agree. I also started seeing my way of sketching also like a reportage in a way. So yeah, I fully understand what you are saying. Yeah.
Yeah, you have it in the back of your mind. You have this you have Rita echoing in your mind, or Rob, or all the sketchers who came to the episodes, telling you, go do it.
Yeah.
You have this push.
Yeah.
So I continued. So all these sketches that you are seeing were done the same day. So
Mhm.
from inside, from outside. And this is actually a very old house that was
Mm.
next to my grandmother's building that collapsed completely. So we can see that the facade is completely open.
Yeah.
The balconies fell, so there is only a few walls standing, and everything fell on my car, on my uncle's car, that is hidden, like the red spot. So so I covered also very personal moments. It's not only covering what happened, because destruction was everywhere. It was mainly a personal story that I was trying to tell.
Yeah. No, it's
So
beautiful.
the same day, after we managed to collect all the stuff, and it was a very tiring day, we went to a different place, so a safer place, where my grandmother was taken. And luckily, she didn't have to enter the hospital, unlike my uncle, who got surgery. So she got some broken, comment on dit, forgot the name. Sorry?
I no, I cannot tell.
Les côtes. Elle a eu des côtes cassées.
Oh,
Euh,
the ribs.
the ribs, voilà. Thank you.
No, it's okay. Yeah, the French sounds similar to the Italian, but not because I speak French. But yeah, good, we did it.
The ribs. She had
Well,
to.
that's still very bad and painful, in particular for an old lady, you know.
Exactly. So she was 90 years old,
Hmm.
and I tried to sketch her while she was sitting on a sort of sofa. So of course she was tired, she was in pain, she was telling us what happened and how she was sitting on the balcony, and she had the reflex to go inside where she saw the smoke,
Oh
because
wow.
she could see the smoke from the balcony. So it's really close to the place. And then the blast happened, and then she was projected to the inside.
Oh.
She could have been projected to the outside, but
Yeah.
luckily
Yeah.
they got projected from to the inside, and they got injured inside. And so on the 10th, so 1 week later,
Mm-hmm.
I felt the need to go and document. So here, the idea of continuing a series of reportage started to take place.
Hmm.
And I just went to Beirut to sketch this, and I came back home. So it was just for the purpose of
Yeah.
sketching.
Okay.
I did it very early in the morning before starting work. It was a working day, so I went around maybe 7 in the morning. I sketched the scene, and I came back
Mm.
home. And like I said in the talk, it was a very painful moment because you are in front of a scene that is completely devastated, where people lost their lives. So it's not something pleasant to see, and it's not pleasant even to be there, because when you know the before and you see the after, it's
Oh, yeah,
horrific.
absolutely.
Yeah. And then I started covering also the testimonials of my family. So that was my uncle who got his broken waist, and
Mm.
I don't know what he had also, many other injuries. So he couldn't walk. He had a lot of medicine to take, so like a pile of medicine.
Oh, I
And
see.
yeah, he spent the whole summer in bed and trying to do a few steps, whereas before he was walking kilometers.
I see. Well, yeah.
Yeah, and then a month ago, I went back again during the weekend to draw this.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually Rita used it for the reportage grant
Oh, yes, yes.
post.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this was a place that a lot of Lebanese people and even tourists know, because it's like it's a very famous street where all the nightlife happens. So you have all kind of pubs, bars, not nightclubs, like cool places, restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
lots of the youth of the country and the youth of many other countries used to visit these restaurants, sit on the terrace,
Mm.
have a drink and eat.
Yeah.
And these two sketches, they were not shown during the USK talk. They were also human stories of friends.
Mm-hmm.
One who is a doctor who graduated and was thinking of leaving the country because of what happened. So
Mm.
um, people were very negative after what happened, because
Yeah, of course.
they saw no hope. They saw no hope because the little hope they had to build a decent country to live in was completely blown when this happened. So and this is another story of my brother-in-law who graduated from university, and still the same problem, asking himself if he should stay in the country or leave it to find a better opportunity elsewhere. Uh, this is uh, this is also
Mm.
the famous picture of
Yes,
the
of the
challenge.
challenge. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the picture that I did from my car. So I just went to Beirut, stayed in the car.
Sorry, I see the little guest is more special guest
The,
than you, but it's okay.
when the little guest starts roaming, he takes all the spotlights, you know.
Yes.
The little guest, you know, you don't know him, huh, when he's sleeping at night.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to be fair, he's drawing with us when we meet.
Yes,
You
yes,
know.
yes. So here in this picture, what is particularly interesting is this, the
Yes.
upper part, because there are a lot of associations who are taking care of the urban heritage of Beirut. So they are getting a lot of funds to be able to rebuild or to restore the damaged houses, and especially the typical houses, not the building, the concrete building. So they took the initiative to cover them before winter, because winters in Lebanon, unlike maybe people who might think that it never rains, it can be very cold and it rains a lot. And
Mm.
so imagine if you have a house that is roofless, it
Yeah.
won't be that cool to. Already you lost half of your things, plus you will have the water inside, so it won't be a good thing. And this is another sketch that was covering. It's not a building. It's a structure actually that is called the Forum de Beirut.
Mhm.
That is a sort of exhibition center.
Okay.
So lots of artists who come to Lebanon to perform on stage, big cultural events, exhibitions, and all these things happen there.
Mhm.
It's a metallic, like you can see, it's a metallic
Yeah.
building structure. So it was very easily destroyed. It's like
Mhm.
the Three Little Pigs story when you blow on their houses and you can
Yeah, yeah.
destroy everything.
Mhm.
And if we still have time, I don't know if we.
Yeah, maybe another little bit, and then maybe we see if there is any question from
Okay,
people, because that would be also a nice moment.
okay. I will show you just a couple of illustrations.
Mhm.
Um, this is these are two friends of ours who came once to our place, and it happened that both of them were port employees.
Mm.
They didn't know each other's because the port is big, but each one was telling his own story. So they are both survivors from what happened. One of them was not at the port at the moment, and the second one had just left it and was just arriving home
Oh,
when
wow.
it happened. And then they started getting notifications and phone calls that their colleagues were died. So
Mm.
both of them had so many people who died in the
Of course,
explosion.
yeah. If they were working at the port, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, and one just to end it on a funny note, I would like to share this on another
Mhm.
sketchbook. Uh, this is a place called Le Chef. It's a very famous restaurant in Beirut.
Mhm.
And if you visit it one day, you will find more tourists than local people
I
inside it
see.
because it's a restaurant that is mentioned in lots of touristic guides, and so people go there
Mm,
specifically.
okay. Nice.
And this is the owner, and I met him, and I met two French tourists who were there,
Mhm.
and we asked the owners because I used to go to this place a lot of time during my lunch break when I was
Mhm.
at work. So I asked him, "What happened to you?" So all the staff got injured, obviously. The store not destroyed, but had the glass
Damage. Yeah.
completely damaged,
Mhm.
etc. The glass shattered. And in the story, he was telling that one of his clients was sitting inside the restaurant, and when the explosion happened, they couldn't even see because of the smoke.
Mm.
Nothing was clear in front of them, and people were covered with blood, and it was like an apocalyptic scene.
Yeah.
And the client just asked for the bill. So
See,
he told him, run, go away, don't
don't
ask for the
worry.
bill. There is no bill anymore.
Well, he was
So
polite, at least, he didn't run away.
he was conscious, and he was
Oh.
honest till the end.
Mm.
So yeah,
Well,
that
that's
was
that's it's a nice way of ending this sharing of your reportage. Thank you, Thierry.
yeah.
That's very sweet, actually. But yeah, I mean, I have many questions, but I would like really people to now intervene and say if you have questions that can be about this reportage, about Thierry's, even I don't know, favorite tools, anything. Please go ahead. We are happy to hear you. Um, it's a bit strange to start, but I'm sure we just need to break the ice.
Okay, I have a question.
Hello,
Around
Axel. Welcome.
Hey, hello, Thierry.
Hello, Axel.
How much time do you take in each sketch approximately? Are you fast sketcher?
Yeah, that's a good question. Obviously, the sketches that I did at my grandmother's house were the fastest. They were done in 10, 15 minutes, maybe, because I wanted just to capture the moment, the essence of it, and not spend too much time on the details. But certain sketches, like the detailed ones, like this one, could take up to an hour, maybe.
Okay.
Mm.
Nice.
So it
But that
depends. It depends on the quality of the sketch and the details that I can put in
it,
them.
it still has too many details for 1 hour. You're really
Yeah,
fast.
exactly. You're really fast. True.
Yeah, it depends. It depends. Sometimes you are in conditions that help. You are you are not pressured. You don't have to finish quickly, and sometimes you have to. You feel more pressured. For example, in the restaurant, the guy was moving. He was not posing in front of me. He was going and serving the clients and talking, and so I had to capture him very quickly. I just benefited from a moment where he came towards me to talk to the French people. And while he was talking to them, I was sketching them. I was like drawing him
Oh,
like
that's
this.
good.
So it depends on the situation.
Mm, yeah, sure. Thank you. This was a nice question because, yeah, Thierry is always putting a lot of colors and details, but it's interesting to know that maybe, you know, when you capture in your mind what you want to put on the sketch, you can also be very quick. And of course, the more you do, I imagine, the more you become fast. So that's also a possibility.
True, and the more you are inspired as well,
Hmm,
because you are
yeah,
choosing your subject. You don't have something imposed. Sometimes when the subject is imposed, you have to figure out how to
yeah,
do it.
yeah,
Yeah.
true, true. Thank you. Um, is there any other of you would like to make a question? I'm just checking my phone because there is also my dad from Italy, and I told him if you have any, of course he didn't understand all what we said, but I said if you have any question, just write them to me in Italian and I will translate. So, you know, in case, papà, se vuoi fare domande, fammi sapere e traduco io. Okay, so just a family communication. But maybe I can ask you some questions. So like, you know, in this case, you know, when you said about this reportage growing in this idea of making a reportage was growing in your mind and you started actually compiling it.
Yes.
I imagine you had all your art tools with you that you
Oui.
would take like the sketchbook and the colors and so on. But I'm just wondering if this is something that you know you always do, or maybe you changed now and you're used more to take your sketch tools with you. So if
No,
this
no,
changed over
nothing.
time, or you were always having a little.
Not nothing changed. Nothing changed.
Okay.
I usually carry with me for those who know me, my famous bag
I see. Okay, okay.
that has everything inside. So I have everything like a pocket sketchbook, so it's easy
Yeah, sure.
to carry a little watercolor box. But I have three, so I don't work with one. I have one, two, three.
I
So
see.
different colors, different compositions,
I
different
see. Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
and a set of paint brushes. So
Mm-hmm.
travel box. So everything is easy to carry. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
weigh a lot, and sometimes it's tiring me because I have to walk to a place, so I just have to carry
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But yeah,
You always have had this let's say tendency to take things with you just in case you could sketch something, because this is
yes, yes,
something that
yes.
yeah, I think many people I heard they're saying that, you know, over time the more you get into this mentality of sketching something that you're kind of telling a story also for just yourself, not really to compose a reportage or something, but the more people tend to have a little sketchbook in their bag, even just one pen, but something that they are sure they can capture a moment, a scene or something. So that's interesting.
True.
Not sure if there is any other question. I also am trying to see. Yes. Also, it would be nice because I see many new faces, and it could be that they are your friends from Lebanon. Maybe you guys don't want really to say something, but in case, it would be nice to you know, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself or just say hi, or just to emphasize the fact that here there are people from our chapter, but also from other places. And to be honest, there are also people like Axel is from Mexico, so we have people from very different places. So it's also nice that there is your chapter with you. And yeah, so if anybody would like to intervene, otherwise we could move to the sketching session the way you prefer. So I will give a few minutes in case someone wants to ask something to Thierry, or just give a feedback, something. I know it's a bit shy, we can be a bit shy in front of a computer, but imagine that we are, on the street sketching, and we have Thierry visiting Cambridge sketching with us. That would be nice one day.
Hopefully.
Yes.
I have a question, actually, if
Hello.
I may. Hi.
Of course. Hello.
So, hi, I'm Suzanne. I'm in Toronto, and
Oh, wow.
yeah. Okay, Terry, I want to ask you. This became like like you were reporting on what was going on and so on. Do you see yourself continuing, like, because now with the I'm assuming there are renovations and so on. Do you see yourself continuing this project to, over the next year, for example, just to document what is happening now?
It's a very interesting question, and I asked myself the same thing. Yes, why not? Why not? Now, I guess that you have to be accurate in the choice that you make, because if you are just covering random things, it won't be that interesting. What needs to be covered is a sort of consistent story. So like I was showing you before, I didn't start with any story except covering very personal outings, events that were happening around me, like any urban sketcher would do, because this is just a personal pleasure that you do while sketching. But I felt that when this happened, it had a bigger meaning. It had a meaning that can stay in the collective memory of an entire nation. It's not my own memory, my own souvenir, or your souvenir, or because these are intimate, they are personal. But this is common to humanity, not only for Lebanese people, because even tourists who came and visited that place will never see it the same way. So there is a sort of yes, it is important to carry on, not to stop here. But I don't know to what extent it will be interesting to continue covering, except if they are really specific sketches. Maybe the renovation of a house that was already shown destroyed, for example. So it has more value because you can continue the story. But if I draw a building that is brand new, it won't have this interest.
Yeah, that's what I meant. For example, the house across from your grandmother's place, with the red car.
Yes.
So you have a personal connection with that.
Exactly.
So
exactly. I think it's telling a human story, and human stories can happen through architecture as well, because humans built the place, or vice versa. It can be the architecture that is telling the story of people. So it's a dual relationship that we have with the place. And that's the interesting thing to cover. Unfortunately, because we are locked down, and because of work sometimes and family duties, I don't have the opportunity to every time go to the same place and draw. And sometimes the weather doesn't really help. But hopefully, I don't program things. I do them as they happen. And sometimes it happens. It happens that poof, it comes to me like this. So I don't provoke things. If they come, they come. If not, well, it will end here.
Thank you, Susan. It's a very nice question, and
Yeah.
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you. So, guys, if you agree, we could very briefly talk about the challenge, which, you know, it would be the topic or what we will try to do to accept this challenge from Thierry's talk and see if we can translate it into a sketch. Of course, if you feel like doing just a normal urban sketch of anything else not related to this, feel free to do it. But it would be nice if we can do this and then meet again and look at the sketches. So Thierry, would you like to quickly explain the challenge to everybody? It would be great.
Sure, sure. The sketch is quite simple in the what to say, what to do, or what to say, but it is a little bit tricky on the how, because we need to find this. So it is called Beauty in the Beast. So like you saw, the topic is the beast. It's not something very pleasant or very very beautiful to go through, but the beauty is to know to seize the moment and to capture it in an artistic way. So that is what is required. If you have anything around you or in mind or at sight that is not that great, it can be I don't know, maybe just a mess. It doesn't have to be a tragedy.
Yeah, of course.
It has to be something that is not aesthetically maybe interesting, or something that is challenging a situation or a view or anything like that, and just try to capture it in a beautiful manner. So that's the challenge.
That's nice. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I'm in difficulty because I am at my boyfriend's place and he's so tidy. If I was in my house, there was plenty of mess to sketch. I chose the wrong day to visit him. No, but I'm sure we can all try to find, you know, something exactly as Thierry said. You know, it can be as simple as a messy, you know, cupboard. It doesn't need to be, you know, something related to a big tragedy.
Hi guys, was really I
Hello.
finished my draw, so
Oh, yes.
I think I need to go. I would show you.
Yes, let's see.
Yes, sure.
Oh, wow.
Happy
It was
New
scary.
Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
So it's about cheating. Have you heard about cheating?
Yes.
Which is usually they put in front of the temple in China, and then they have a. They say that it's a good beast because it brings good luck for the new year. I hope the COVID will be gone for the new year.
Ah, that's good.
Yes. So
Happy
cheating
New
is
Year,
Sunny. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Happy New Year. It's a beautiful sketch.
I love it.
Lovely.
Very lively.
Yeah,
Dynamic.
he's a he has a you know about cheating. He has a 4 different body. So the ear is like deer, and the body like the fish, the body skin, and then the leg and like a horse, and the tail is like a cow tail. So that's the 4. What they say is it's imagination. It didn't existing. So that's why I just draw with a little bit imagination.
So this is what I sketched, like this view that has all the, you know, broken trees, but at least we can see a bit the river, and the view is still enjoyable. And the cat was here until 2 seconds ago. So
That's so cute.
And your cat
Nice,
too?
very nice. The cat also very nice.
Great fun.
I think, can you guys see 2 of me?
Yes.
Okay, so I think this is very confusing because
Which one am I going to highlight? Oh,
one
yeah.
with the image. Oh yeah, there's the other one of me. Okay, so let's
Oh,
see.
gosh.
This way, that way.
Okay.
Oops. Oh,
Ooh,
there we are. But this is
Oh,
what I'm working on. It's totally abstract.
beautiful colors.
mm.
Thank you. I like them too.
Yeah.
And so I'm just playing around. I mean, I've actually glued down these 3 big pieces. I finally glued down. I start cutting out pieces and randomly, I lay things out, and then I take a picture kind of to keep track of what I did. And then I start pushing everything around. And I've been actually pushing bits of paper around on this for about 3 days. And I finally said, no, you got to just glue something down and then you can work from there. So this is what it looks like so far. I'm experimenting with how to do abstraction. It's novel for me, let's put it that way.
Hmm.
So now I think I can unjoin from my phone.
Joy, how do you get those little tiny pieces stuck down without getting glue in all the wrong places?
Glue sticks.
Oh, yeah.
I use a glue
Okay.
stick. So the tiny little, I have no idea if I've been disconnected from my second. No, there it is. Yeah, I use glue sticks and I don't know. You know, I like, it can be hard to manipulate a little bit. So like, you know, I have this tool. Let me see this thing. This is a spike. And so like here I have a tiny little piece of paper. And so I put it down, you know, face down on another piece of paper. That's scrap paper. Yeah, I'm not muted. And then, you know, I put the glue on it. And then, so here we have the tiny piece of paper stuck to the glue stick. And then we take the spike and we basically kind of pick it off. Well, now it's stuck to my finger. That's okay too. And then we just kind of put it down somewhere. Now that I went and put glue on this piece of paper, I don't know where I'm putting it. And then I just, you know, put it down and stick it down. And so it doesn't get glue in other places. And this glue stick, this is like Elmer's glue, which looks purple, but when it's dry, you don't see it. It disappears. It's only purple when it's wet. And so it works pretty well. Sometimes I get glue in the wrong places. I have to wash my hands a lot or else I get glue on everything. And, you know, if I get glue in the wrong places, then it'll pick up dirt. And so it's a bit of a mess. And sometimes like I'll actually come in later and just take a wet paintbrush to wash off bits of glue that are in the wrong place, which usually works reasonably. So that's how I do it.
Nice.
Not urban sketching.
Because-
Well, this is not urban
And
sketching.
it's interesting because, you know, I don't think any of us is trying to do the collage in this moment. So it's good to have, you know, variety and different ways of doing things. It's good.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, I wanted to.
I do urban sketching collage. I mean, I can't work on site now between COVID and the weather. And so I'm not doing, you know, I've been doing collages from photographs of places, but it's really more fun on site. And so sometimes I do photographs, but sometimes I just, I don't, you know, then I said I have to experiment with abstraction some more. So I've been playing around with abstraction.
No, nice. It's really interesting. We had, I remember some time ago, one of our members was doing, I don't remember the name of the technique, but like he was using wool and a needle to create shapes, and he was doing like views.
Felting.
Yeah.
Felt.
Yes,
It's called
thanks.
felt. Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
made of wool, exactly.
And he was doing like views during our sketching walks. I think he did it a couple of times, and it was really interesting. Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always thought I wanted to figure out a way to do urban sketching, but sculpture, but I haven't tried.
Oh, wow.
I know I know on mostly virtually, but one in person as well, other people who do depictions of places, real places in collage, in paper collage. And, you know, we sort of find each other on Instagram and on Facebook and stuff. Nobody else in the urban sketching community. I'm the only person who's doing it on site, and they all think I'm crazy to do it on site. There's another woman who used to live in Newfoundland, and I first found her because she posted somewhere, you know, one of her collages, and I looked at it and it's like, that's St. John's. I know exactly where that is. So I sent her a message and said, oh my God, is there somebody else working, you know, doing collage in St. John's of real places? She said, no, I live in Halifax, but she's from Newfoundland originally.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And we actually met at one time when I was driving through Halifax. So that was really fun. And there's a woman in Seattle who does really nice cityscapes of real places. And there's, you know, the handful of other other people too who do cityscapes of real places, and it's really fun.
Yeah, it's always fun to see, you know, and Instagram is a good way, at least for me, to see many different things from the way maybe I do. Like I find interesting those people that they maybe do drawing on, I don't know, a paper cup of the coffee they just had.
Yeah,
Or
a lot of people do those.
using a piece of, we have also a person from, again, the group in Cambridge who does a lot of drawings on cereal boxes, you know, the back, because that paper is quite resistant and nice to go on. So, you know, there are many ways to explore.
There's somebody in the Lebanon group, I think she's in the Lebanon group, who's been sketching on books, on the pages of books. Is that somebody from Lebanon Sketchers?
Don't know.
I think so.
But
I forgot who.
maybe.
Was Tamara doing that? We haven't seen her in a while. I don't know. But it you know, it's interesting. Yeah.
I think that is my dad who did the sketch. Maybe his microphone doesn't work, but I can try to involve him. Papi, vuoi far vedere il tuo disegno anche se non c'è l'audio? So, I don't know if you can see it. Oh, wow, nice.
Ah, ma allora sei figlia d'arte, Federica, dovevi dire.
Ma no.
Hey.
Oh, nice.
Bello. This is Naples.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I miss that. So I believe, you know, the sea can be beauty and beast at the same time, you know, depending on the weather. And I know these days, yeah, he's trying to move that. Yeah, it's been very bad weather. So, you know, it's the sea can be a bit crazy in these periods. But yeah, grazie, Papa.
If you're not on it, if you're just on the shore and you're safely watching it, it's amazing though.
Yes.
Crazy.
Yeah. And in Naples, there is where the place where he sketched is a place where there is a nice walk. So there is a very large space for like walking space. And now I think they closed it to traffic. So it's even the old road is completely free. So I believe you can go and watch it even when the sea is very angry. You will be safe. But okay,
like
so
a boardwalk.
You know,
is it a boardwalk or a road?
It's there is a big sidewalk near just the fence that are on the sea, but then the main road as well now is a walking path. Papi, hanno aperto, hanno chiuso al traffico, vero? Nella zona dove hai disegnato tu? È solo pedonale, yeah, it's only for pedestrians now, so it's really nice because I think the city lives in a different way now that area is only for pedestrians.
Yeah,
and it's very large, so you can go there and walk calmly. You don't need to run because there is space for anybody, any pace, so that's good. Okay, so anybody else would like to show the sketch of today or tell us about what they do?
Maybe. I will try and spotlight myself.
Yes, please.
Well, let's see if it can see. There.
Violin.
Oh.
So the story, it's called Memories of My Grandfather. So the beast, the horrible part is that he was killed, but the good part is he's remembered. So I have his violin here, and I have his artist's palette over here, and some of his paints, and I have many other things. Oh. And then there are 3 books there which mention him, and again, there are other things. So there's a book about architects here. The middle one is an exhibition of his, which was in Germany and Poland, and the other one is a Polish Jewish magazine that did a little article about it. And so it's very sad I never met him, but it's very wonderful I can go to another country and talk to people about him and see things that he did, you know.
Amazing, yeah.
So it's it's a contrast. So
was he killed by the Nazis?
Yeah, there were other people too, though, apparently. So it's unfortunately a common story. Yeah, but yeah, the people that were known were taken first, and then everybody else. So you know, there you go. But a lot of people survived. A lot of good things happened, and I'm here too. So whether that's good or bad.
Very interesting story.
Yeah, it's nice. I have sometimes the same feeling when I meet someone who met my grandma, who I never met because she died when my mom was 16 or 17. So I was not even imagined, you know. And it's nice to hear that, you know, for different things that she did, she was a great woman. And it's nice to imagine that maybe these things are anyway in you, even if you didn't meet this person. But, you know, for example, your grandpa was, you know, was an artist, and you are also doing art in different shapes. You don't do only sketching, you do many other things. So for sure, something of him is in you, even if you didn't meet him. So I think that's beautiful.
No, absolutely. He told, you know, he asked his children to keep on sketching, to keep drawing, and I took that as a message for me too. And when I went to his exhibition in a little medieval town in Germany, then I thought, why am I not drawing this beautiful place? Sat down, started drawing, and haven't stopped since.
Oh wow, that's beautiful.
Nice. So he was famous?
Well, he's known.
He's known.
He was lucky because, well, he wanted to be he was an architect, but then in 1933 you could not do your profession anymore. So then he could not be an architect. So then he became a teacher and a full-time artist. But he did many things. So he designed buildings which could not be built. He did interior design of buildings, of department stores and many shops, houses, built furniture. Then he did painting and printing and obviously drawing, everything except sculpture, really, lots of different artistic things. So it had to become his profession then after that. So yeah, and his works are in Germany, Poland, Israel, and America, as far as I know. So I can go to Berlin and, you know, talk to people in the museum about him and meet interesting people, and it's great, a little connection. And yeah, and in Poland too, there's lots of things. So he's still alive in many ways, you know, his influence is still there.
Our sketches will keep us alive.
Well, yeah, I mean, for instance, you know, as you said, Thierry, you've drawn something which will be remembered. It's a very important event. You've done something fantastic with it. I would not be surprised if, you know, that those end up in a history book one day or some other book, because they're beautiful, but they're also important.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
True.
So, yeah, true. You will also be remembered.
Our
kids will study you, Thierry. Our kids of the
oh my God.
And they will be embarrassed because kids are always embarrassed. Oh no, Dad! Oh, not again! He comes now. You see, don't show your pictures, please. I have to go back to school. Your grandchildren will be happy.
So I want to ask you, and you said you haven't met your grandfather, but you've seen his work.
Sure.
So do you connect to his work? Like, does his work speak to you, or how did you feel when you looked at his work? And well, he was your grandfather, but you never met him, but you've seen his work. So
sure. Well, I mean, we always had. Luckily, we had a lot of his work at home, and I only knew that. What I didn't know, of course, the best stuff was. It's another story. A Swiss art collector, whatever, bought a lot of stuff from my grandmother, and it went in collections around the world. So the best stuff. So I saw better things, less personal things. So we have family pictures and flowers and things, but he did spiritual pictures. These are the ones that talk to me most. So he was obviously killed because he was, quote, Jewish, but actually I don't think he was a religious person, but I think he was a spiritual person. So I've seen pictures that he's done, paintings and lithographs, I think, which are really very deeply spiritual. They're people reaching towards the light, you know, very clear, you know, direct connection with God, which you don't make controversy. You don't typically get through religions because you go through priests, but you can have a personal connection, and it speaks of that. And he also apparently illustrated some books of the Kabbalah, which is like a mystical Jewish work, you know, I don't know much about it, which tells me he was much more in that direction, which I feel more connected to. So I feel that as well. And it very much comes to his pictures, because of course, all great art is a form of conversation, is a communication. Sure. And it's not just, that's very pretty, you know, let's have a look at that.
Yeah, true, yeah.
And I'm, you know, trying to be objective. I also think he was a fantastic artist. I think his stuff is wonderful, and so many different styles, incredible. So in terms of reportage, he was in the, I can probably show you actually, he was in the cavalry in the First World War. And so he did a few pictures. I'm just looking out the book to see if I can show you some of his urban sketches, if I can find it. So he was, yeah, which is maybe a good one. Well, that's him hold on. I guess that's. Let me just do this.
You have to hold it up a little
Yeah,
higher.
yeah, I know. I will. I know. I'm just going
Okay.
to put my. Oh, this is not such an easy spotlight. So let me see. So there's a picture of him as in a woodcut, where you can see there's some cavalry behind.
Yes.
Nice. He's got another very powerful one. Let me see if I can find that.
That's such an amazing portrait.
Well, he did a lot of self-portraits. This is one that is fantastic. Is particular back. Oh God, here we are. Can you see that?
Oh.
So I think that speaks very powerfully. Doesn't need much explanation, does it?
Yeah.
And you know, I'm sure he saw all that. Although he was lucky enough that he came out quickly and went back to art school. Lucky guy.
What was his name?
Heinrich Tischler. So you won't find anything in English, but you'll find a lot in Polish and German, German Wikipedia and various exhibitions. You'll find a few bits online.
Can you please type his name in the chat?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, are we going to put our Instagram feeds
Yeah,
in?
exactly. I was going to say, because before we talked about this while we were sketching, that would be nice to have all our Instagram profile. I was already searching some of it, but it's easier if we write each of our Instagram name in the chat, so we can search each other and inspire each other.
I think the problem, if I'm right, the chat disappears when the meeting is closed, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
so.
you can save it if you want to.
Ah, can I?
Yeah, if you're on a computer,
good to know.
And you're looking at your chat.
Yeah.
Down at the bottom where you can type something in.
Type message here. Oh, file.
Off to the right, there's 3 dots in a little square.
Save chat. Fantastic. Yes, got it.
But it's best to wait till everybody's put their information there.
All right, fantastic. Yes, that's good.
And then we can all save it.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Bit by bit, we're all learning how to use this technology.
Well, it changes every time I use it.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the other ones, obviously. Anyway, thank you. That's good. I think that's me.
know.
Whatever.
So while the nicknames, our Instagram nicknames go on, anybody else wants to show the
Attends, je dois parler.
the sketch? Hello.
I will show you. Oh. It's not the beauty in the beast, but it's the different geographies.
Cool.
Yes.
I couldn't draw everyone, but
oh wow, I love it.
It's you again.
Judy's looking very hidden in that one.
Very good.
Thank you. It's beautiful. As usual, I will ask you to send me a picture, but that's more of a I think Jessie was going to show her sketch. There was a moment of overlap. Your microphone is off, so if you want to maybe switch it on so you can tell us about it.
I'm in the middle of making new curtains for one of our windows. So there is a muddle. There is a muddle at one end of the table, and there's the sewing machine and fabric at the other end. They're kind of half done.
It's beautiful. I love it.
So nice. I love it.
Thank you.
It's very nice, and it looks like an illustration, could go in a book about, telling the story of a person who was doing a big, I don't know, blanket for the big, it's really nice. It makes me think of a story with it. Really
yes. Yeah. A friend of ours began to write a blog at the beginning of lockdown last year. And I mean, that's all on her computer, but I've tried to keep something that's a cross between the diary and a sketchbook.
Oh, wow.
So that when we look back, we can think, well, what did we do? Yes, we went for a walk every day. What else did we do? And yes, so sometimes I don't get much done in it. Sometimes I do more, but yes, we are doing things. So this week, my husband has been painting lots and lots of doors.
Oh, wow. Okay. During your walks?
So,
oh, wow. That's cool.
We bought the paint really nice for our second lockdown, and then it just sat in the garage doing nothing for a long time. So then we had to say, yes, I must do the curtains, he must do the doors, or the other way around, whichever.
You know, it reminded me of this thing that's happening in Cairo. It's called Doors of Cairo on Instagram.
Right.
And they've been photographing and sketches different doors during the Ottoman era, the Fatimid era, and I don't know, maybe like from all sorts of histories. It's really inspiring. I loved your sketches.
Beautiful, yeah.
What a lovely idea.
Yeah, doors are very interesting, and
Yeah,
here also, or at least in Cambridge, often I see people sketching doors or taking pictures of doors, because often there are these houses that they look like all the same. They all have small details, but mainly it's the door that is different.
Yes.
And it's really, I think it inspires a lot of visual, artists or anybody to remember this, because
definitely right.
And for me, that I'm not used to this type of houses. For me, it's still very fascinating to see, the houses of the British houses with these doors, different colors. So it is something that attracts my attention. Jessie, I think your microphone is off. Yeah, because I see you're speaking. Yeah, don't worry.
Because we have been doing the same walk very often, and because I think since I started doing urban sketches, I have become more observant. Yes, we have seen and noticed details in front doors. So lots of pretty stained glass in people's front doors that I didn't notice before when I cycled past in a hurry.
You see, yeah, exactly.
But I love the idea of the doors in Cairo.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And you can see how they are different, between different cultures. So that's. I think Nick is showing us a door. We cannot hear you, Nick. We cannot hear you. Your microphone is off. Don't worry. Yes.
It's a typical Cambridge door. They all look like this.
Yes.
Oh my God,
every house has these doors in Cambridge.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. It looks exactly
Not
like
true. Guys,
this.
that's the richest college in Cambridge. That's not true.
It's true.
No, it's Nick's garage.
Yeah,
His
that's
garage
it.
has these doors. Yeah. Thank you, Jessie. Very nice. And maybe right to say the name, pronounce Rana? Reina?
Rana, right.
Rana, okay, good. Okay, so the way in Italian we would pronounce, so really easy for me.
That's really nice.
So would you like to show us your sketch? Yeah.
Let me just flip my camera. Okay, so I've been sketching this tower of a palace. I started this on location yesterday. I was on a picnic with my family, and this happens to be the palace of the last kings of Egypt, King Farouk. Yeah, and I don't know if it's the topic, the Beauty and the Beast, but well, I've been thinking like yesterday. My family and I were just talking, like the whole gardens around the palace and the palace itself during the I don't know how to say this, the period where the king was in rule.
Yeah.
It was all kept for the king, and people were not allowed to like visit or anything. Until now, the gardens are open for the public, but we're not allowed to like visit the palace itself. And it's actually kind of weird because Egypt has all sorts of palaces, and it's like open for the public to go visit. And I don't know why exactly this one is not. We're not allowed to like visit the interior of it. I was just testing the building, and I was thinking about this thought, yani. So yeah,
maybe they're still using this palace, Rana.
I'm not sure because no, they're not. Like there's another one in Alexandria. It's called Ras Sittin, and it's actually in use. Like the president go there, but we're not. But this one is actually just like you have the gardens. It's allowed that you go and have a picnic in the gardens, but not inside the palace.
Oh wow!
Maybe it reminds me again of the Beit el Din in Lebanon.
Oh
We
yeah,
visited, and it's really nice.
the gardens there are really nice too.
And I wonder if
Yeah.
maybe like the building needs that restoration and they just haven't put
Yeah,
the money into fixing it up
exactly.
yet.
Maybe, right. So yes, that's it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and yeah, it could be this, because you know sometimes countries like your country are full of things to be, you know, taken care of, and it's not easy to go after them all. So it could be that it's not safe enough to be open, but hopefully one day. So that would be
Yeah,
nice.
hope.
And then you could sketch the inside and show us. You see, so you can do like Thierry, we were talking
That
about
would
it
be
before,
nice,
you know.
right? Yeah.
Recording the evolution of how things could change. That's also a
Yeah,
nice.
it's actually a beautiful place. Like it has both like the green areas of the gardens, and then it's by the sea. So it has a lot of beautiful sceneries.
Yeah, I believe so.
Mm.
Nice. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I think we are missing some other people.
Me.
Susan?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, it's not done yet. I don't know if you can see much, but basically this is a view of my desk.
Yeah, that's very
And,
similar to my desk in Cambridge. Yeah, I would have
yeah.
done something very similar if I was.
Yeah, and my desk is always a mess, and it's my art studio. It's always a mess. I always organize it, but then it's always messy. So the beauty is really the studio, and the beast is the mass, and even my unfinished basement, because my studio is in the unfinished basement, which I've been also organizing for the last year, and I'm not done. And it's
Someday, Suzanne,
in
you're
the
gonna,
background. Yeah.
and then
but
we're all gonna
it's
go to Toronto and have a studio warming party.
yes,
And
and
then it'll be
it's
over.
such a huge beast, because it you know, books, art supplies, teaching desk, monitors, laptop, computer, lights, whatever. It's all cords, and it's just too much.
I understand you, because I have the same. I live in a very beautiful place in Cambridge, but my house is really tiny, and I have the impossible in terms of materials for art. Now I work from home, so I have computer, a screen, the scanner, so many things, and I have a lot of makeup, and yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I've got my makeup box here, which I don't use.
So yeah, it is a bit of a beast, because you are conscious that you would like to see things organized in a different way, and as you said, you try to do it, and I really
every day.
I really
every
try,
day,
yeah. But still, it's beautiful, because for me, often is a way to feel inspired, and I want to use the things I have very handy. So you know, it can have a double effect on you. So I understand you.
And art is really messy, you know, like it's just the way it is. Sometimes I feel if I played music instead, it would be so neat and organized, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you did music, you would be constantly worried about the sound bothering other people.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that.
You could only do digital art. You could just get yourself a little tablet and only do digital. And then
I know. The fun is in the art supplies for me, you know, and trying different things. And
yeah, true. I understand you. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it, and it was really nice meeting everyone.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, it's
really
good.
nice to meet you, folks.
Yeah, it's good to have you guys here with us. You know, since you're more used to online meeting, I think we are getting warmer here. So it's really beautiful to have you here. Let's see other sketches. So I cannot see everybody, but okay, I think Gillian is showing us.
I can't see me. Yeah, there.
There you are.
Yes, I'm. Yeah, actually, my desk is messier than this, but I couldn't be bothered to draw the other thing. But I have things like a useful toilet roll here, covered with paper as my sort of brush. What do you call it? Sort of cleaner, basically.
Yeah,
I like this idea.
Yeah. you can see how messy it is. I couldn't really get all the colours, but very useful.
How long does it last?
I have some little pots of paint as well of leftover watercolours I've mixed, so that, but I couldn't draw it all. So actually it looks quite tidy here. And I think the beauty is obviously Thierry, who hasn't come out very well here. I'm afraid he looks more of a beast than a beauty in my drawing of him on the iPad.
I have one of those too.
So it's basically, and I'm just confined to one half of the dining room table. So at the moment we don't have friends coming, but normally I have to clear all this stuff away when somebody comes over, just so we can sit around the table. So this is my studio.
Yeah.
In London, as you all know as well, flats are very small, so we're lucky to be fairly central London, but the downside is we have a very small place with not much storage, etc. So it's I think it's the same for a lot of us, having you know, it'd be lovely to have somewhere that you could just leave all your stuff all the time, rather than clear it away. But c'est la vie, as they say.
Think of vertical storage. Vertical storage.
We've already got quite a lot. I've got a tower in the corner of all my paints and drawers and things as well behind me. It continues the mess all around me.
You just have to keep remembering that the reason you're there is because as soon as you walk out the door, you're in the middle of London.
Nice.
In fact,
and
yes.
You could have a ton of storage and you'd walk out of your door and you'd be like in some kind of suburbia with lawns and nothing interesting to sketch.
Yeah,
So
that's my story.
it's all trade-offs, you know. You can have great indoor space and nothing interesting outside, or you can be in the middle of everything and you just don't have much space.
True.
You just have to keep less stuff. I mean, this is the one who lived 2.5 years in a VW van.
Exactly. I was going to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
We actually had a camping van for many years as well. We didn't live in it, but would spend quite a few weeks in it, and that was another wonderful way of
what it's about is when you're living in it, when you say, I have to get rid of everything I'm not bringing with me in this van. Definitely. And I did not succeed at all, but I really tried.
Yeah.
You know, I was just like, nope, I do not need to own every interesting book I've ever read. They're in the library, they're online. If I want them again, I can find them. You know, you just, many beautiful things, like, it's beautiful. I don't need to own it. You know,
in fact, we lived in, we moved all over the place for about 15 years, living in different countries, sometimes even changing house every year or 2 years or 3 years. So that makes you be a drastic sorter outer as well. But you just think, in fact, we would accumulate things from the particular country. Then in the next country, we thought, actually, we had a wonderful selection of Belgian beer glasses after living in Belgium for several years. But when you have like 30 Belgian beer glasses and you're not using them, you think it's time to have a sort of garage sale or car boot sale and move on from that. So I'm not very materialistic. I've never really become too attached to possessions, I think, after that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's good not to be attached to possessions.
Yeah.
Well, good and bad. Sometimes some people, obviously, if they've lived in the same house for years, then you have the advantage of being able to accumulate stuff. But moving around,
it depends on your priorities.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think if I see well all the faces, we have Lydia and Elisa didn't show us their sketches, so maybe we can start from well, Elisa started showing us, but maybe we can see a bit more and hear from you where you are, and then after this Lydia can show us. Is that fine?
Judy didn't show us anything either. Judy still here? She's gone.
No, Judy had a problem of connection. She sent me a message saying that she got disconnected.
Okay.
I think she was in Starbucks or something.
I think I see that in Thierry house is getting crowded. I saw two.
You see?
Is he sketching yet?
It's beautiful. It's like a work. It's a bridge, right? If I see.
No, it's a store of how you say a store where fishermen put their ships, their boats.
Oh,
a key.
Like a marine, I guess.
It's a boat lift, like a car lift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Really
Wow.
beautiful.
It's
But
impressive.
just started because I didn't have enough
Yeah,
time.
I know this time. I know these times are not enough to do a lot, but I mean, already all the work you did with the lines is great. So you live very close to the sea.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes on foot.
Wow, that's a dream. That's amazing.
But I can't see it from the windows. I'm sorry.
But still, you can reach it in 2 minutes. It takes me much longer, and it doesn't mean it's the same sea you see. Sorry, little complaint. Sorry, very little complaint. I really miss the sea, and I was in Genoa before, so I know the views there. They are wonderful. So yeah, thank you. And maybe now we can have Lydia. Sorry, Lydia, you're the last one. You're just the last in my string of all the cameras. But Lydia is from our group in Cambridge. She doesn't live in Cambridge, but she's sketching with us for several years now. She's quite an enthusiast of the group. I think your microphone is off.
Yes, I was saying I haven't had much time to do any drawing because I had a phone call. Well, a video call from my mother, so I had to leave. And I just had time to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't have any mess at home. I have lots of my things all over the place. And I could fill almost the whole book, but I didn't have time, and that was very rushed. But before I did that when we were
Yeah, I saw you sketching while we were talking. That's beautiful.
You love the likeness.
Because that is really, really basic. So yeah, that's what I've done. Thank you.
But still, but it's really beautiful.
Thank you.
The drawing you did of Thierry. Thierry, you see our beauty in so
yeah. I
sketches.
sketched you too when you were
see,
talking.
that's the summary of the discussion. So you see the ugly things on the page and the beauty at the end.
It's basically
don't feel offended.
Yeah, this meeting is a injection of self-esteem.
Exactly, it's an ego boost.
Yes, that's great. Well, you gave us something very precious, so if in a way we gave you something back in this time, that's good. I think it's a good exchange.
Great. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for being with us, and also for staying during the chat and now to see the sketches.